Some stories should never be told, but you're about to hear them anyway. Enter Fatal Frames. In the early hours of November 13th, 2022, the college town of Moscow, Idaho, was quiet in the way small towns often are before dawn. The streets were empty, most lights were off. At the edge of the University of Idaho campus, an off-campus rental house at 1122 King Road sat on a slope overlooking nearby apartments and parking lots. 6 students lived there. By 4 a.m., 4 of them would be unalived. What made the crime immediately disturbing was not only its brutality, but its silence. No forced entry was reported. No neighbors called the police during the attacks. 2 surviving roommates were inside the house the entire time, asleep on the lowest level, unaware of what was happening just 1 floor above them. According to investigators, Kaylee Goncalves and Madison Mogan, both 21, were together on the 3rd floor. On the 2nd floor, Zaina Kernoodle, 20, was awake and had recently been on her phone. Her boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, 20, was with her. Sometime between approximately 4 and 4:25 a.m., an intruder entered the house. The house's layout mattered. It had multiple levels, several exterior access points, and thin interior separation. Sound did not travel evenly. Some rooms were partially insulated by stairs, walls, and elevation. 1 surviving roommate, later identified in court documents as DM, reported waking multiple times. She heard what she thought was crying. She heard a voice say something like, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." At one point, she opened her bedroom door and saw a man dressed in black, wearing a mask that covered his mouth and nose. He walked past her. He did not speak to her. He did not attack her. He exited the house. That moment, the proximity, the eye-level encounter, the lack of explanation would become one of the most chilling aspects of the case. Hours later, friends arrived at the house. Calls were unanswered. Doors stayed closed. When police were finally contacted just before noon, officers found 4 victims deceased in their bedrooms. Investigators later confirmed the victims died from multiple stab wounds caused by a large fixed-blade knife. The weapon itself was never recovered. What was recovered was a tan leather knife sheath found on a bed near one of the victims. That sheath would become the most critical piece of evidence in the entire case. DNA recovered from the sheath matched Bryan Christopher Kohberger, a 28-year-old criminology PhD student at Washington State University, located just across the state line in Pullman, Washington, about 8 miles away. Surveillance footage showed a white Hyundai Elantra repeatedly driving near the King Road house before and after the murders. Cell phone records indicated Kohberger's phone had been in the area on multiple occasions in the months leading up to the crime, though it was turned off during the window of the killings. On December 30th, 2022, Kohberger was arrested at his parents' home in Pennsylvania. During the investigation and later court proceedings, attention turned to Kohberger's behavior and background. Former classmates described him as intense and socially isolated. In jail, other inmates and attorneys noticed repetitive behaviors, including excessive hand washing and long showers. His defense referenced mental health conditions in filings, though no single explanation for motive was ever confirmed in court. What remains unsettling is what wasn't answered. Why that house? Why those victims? Why leave two people alive who could identify him? Why leave the sheath? In July 2025, Kohberger pleaded guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder and burglary, avoiding the death penalty. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. He did not explain his actions. The house at 1122 King Road was later demolished. The space where it stood is now empty, but the questions are not. The case continues to linger because of what it represents: a crime carried out in near silence, a killer passing within feet of a witness, the house full of people that did not wake up. Morning came anyway. If you want to see more stories that should never be told, please comment, like, and subscribe. Show the algorithm some love. We love you all, so please remember, be safe out there. Don't become a fatal frame.